Hi, I'm Romi.
And I'm Nicole. Welcome to the Her Pursuit Pod, where we share our journey of building our business, The Daily Drip, a dynamic media platform that provides content and community for more than 4,000 South Florida female CEOs, founders, business owners, executives, and professionals.
Whether it's through our newsletter, events, or this podcast, our hope is to inspire your next big move and arm you with the tools you need to crush it. So tune in on your drive to work, wind down with us after a long day as we share our journey and the journeys of other remarkable business leaders on Her Pursuit.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Her Pursuit. My name's Nicole. I'm co-founder of The Daily Drip, and I'm here with Romi Wallach, my partner in crime, and we're here for a special episode highlighting this year's 2025 nonprofit partner. And we are so proud that this year's nonprofit partner is Dress for Success Palm Beaches. And so, as many of you guys know, this is something that we do every single year. We've been proud to support so many of the local nonprofits in our South Florida community and really shine a light on them, not only so that you guys can all be aware of and understand the incredible work that's happening right here in our community that serves us all, but also figure out how you can get involved. Romi and I have said it 100 times. The Daily Drip would not be where it is today. We would not be the leaders we are today had it not been for our various nonprofit involvements and volunteerism and support. So we're really happy that we can shine a light every year on a nonprofit in our community. And this year, it's Dress for Success Palm Beaches. And I am sitting next to Ms. Joe Ann Fletcher, the CEO of Dress for Success Palm Beaches.
Yes, and I just want to say thank you. We're so grateful that you have chosen our organization. We are an organization that strongly believes in empowering women, and we think that being that the two of you are women who believe in empowering leaders, that we're the perfect organization to be your recipient this year. So we want to just thank you for that.
We couldn't be prouder to have you sitting here next to us. And I want to just dive in, right, Ro? Yeah. What are we waiting for? Let's just get the party started. So, Joe Ann, I think Dress for Success is one of those organizations that I feel has good brand recognition, right? A lot of people have heard of the organization or have some general understanding, but I know that once you go below that surface level general understanding, there's so much more there. So can you just give us like a deep dive? What really does Dress for Success do? How does it serve?
Yes, and you just used a great word because you said more. And we want people to know that we're more than the dress. Because the minute people hear Dress for Success, they right away think that we're about suiting and dressing. That's just a small part of what we do at Dress for Success. We're about helping women who are unemployed, underemployed, or looking to change careers. So we really focus on like job readiness. We have like mock interviews that we do with women who are going out for their interviews. We also focus on mentoring, where we feel that mentoring is important to produce strong leaders and for you to be effective in the workplace. So we have like a mentorship program. We have coaching. So as I said, we're more than just the dress.
I love that.
I mean, I was lucky enough to attend one of your events actually a couple of years ago with Nancy Rizzuto, and just hearing people that have been through the program, hearing their stories and the impact you're making. And to your point, so much more than the clothes. That's the final piece of all of it. But listening to how you guys have worked with these women to really not just develop their skill set, but their confidence to go out and like want more and be able to give them the tools to achieve that. It's amazing. I have goosebumps just thinking about it. It was awesome.
And that starts with many of our programs. And you just mentioned the word Nancy. Like we have a business advisory council. And that's how Nancy started. She came in the business advisors because we believe in, making strong leaders. You have to have partnerships and collaboration and relationships. And that's what's so important when you're working in the nonprofit arena. So Nancy came in as a partner, as a business partner to, give advice and resources to the organization. And now she serves on our board. She just recently chaired our our Circle of Impact, which is our donor base and our level of giving. And now she is on our Speakers Bureau and co-chair in our Speakers Bureau. So we love Nancy. She's brought a lot to the organization.
For those of you listening, Nancy Rizzuto is one of our Daily Drip thought leaders, but the Daily Drip has a long history with Nancy. She was one of the very first sponsors and keynote speakers we ever had, back before we even knew what the Daily Drip was, back before it is what it is today. She really believed in us. And she believed in the mission, and that's just the kind of woman she is. And I think it's important to kind of explain that here in this conversation for anyone listening, because that's the kind of women and the kind of leaders I think you get access to when you choose to double down or go deep. I say go deep versus go wide. But when you decide to go deep on an organization, a cause, or a mission, you get that level of access to people like that, people who are change makers, they're impact driven, they are ready to give and share their stories, share their expertise for the betterment of others. And I think when you're just exposed to that, it fundamentally changes you.
When I think about that and the level of support that Nancy showed us when we didn't even know who we were or what we were, like you always remember the first believers. When I think that it's such an example of like what your organization does. Like you really you see the person and what the potential is, and then giving them everything they need to rise to the level that they are capable of. And that's a special kind of person. So to have people like that in your organization, I can see why you guys have been so successful in changing lives.
Yes, and when we have people like Nancy who support, it attracts other women, like-minded women. And so that's how we get a lot of our leaders, as I was sharing with you earlier before we started. We have a lot of our organization is made up through volunteerism, and they're all leaders from the community, retired attorneys, or people who are still attorneys who are active but want to give back and want to help out. So we really thrive on having leaders who come and support, and they learn from others, like you've learned about Dress for Success through Nancy. And so the word just keeps spreading, and that's how we today have 116 active volunteers who participate with the organization.
And you had just told us before we started rolling, there's only 5 team members at Dress for Success. So there's only 5 people on staff, and you guys are relying on those 100 and something odd volunteers to help you guys propel what is a very robust program.
Because last year we served 1,020 women. Over 1,000 women went through our doors last year. And these are unduplicated numbers of women who came through to either get suited or to have a mock interview or to be a part of our job readiness program. So just with 5 staff and 116 volunteers, we were able to serve over 1,000 women. And so we're really making an impact in the community.
Yeah, one of my favorite, I was actually able to attend the same event as Romi. We were able to go together as Nancy's guests. And it was our first real exposure to the organization. Right. And I mean, guys, just to paint a picture, I mean, we're in the Kravitz Center. There had to be close to 500, 600, 700 people in the room. I mean, it was completely outstanding. And everyone who was in the room, you could just tell they were leaders who were impact driven. They were there for a purpose. They were there to support. They were there to connect. And my favorite part of the event was the story that got highlighted. It was one of the women who had gone through the Dress for Success program. And so I think if you could today on this episode, Joe Ann, could you share an impact story? Like, who's the woman who comes to Dress for Success? Can you paint a picture for the audience, the type of women that these volunteers are serving?
Right. And it's great that you said it, because we just completed our annual event at the Kravitz Center. We had over 600 people in attendance, and we always spotlight a client, even though we have many who are same or similar. So I'm going to share one of the clients that we spotlighted this year, her story. She's someone who had been pretty much homeless and couch surfing since the age of 8. Meaning that she had been traveling from several states. She started out like in New York, and they moved from New York to New Jersey to Virginia, and they made their way to South Florida. And for 18 years of her life, she lived in a shelter. And so when she came to us to join our job readiness program, because she said she didn't want to have the life that she grew up in, she wanted to have more. So when she came to Dress for Success and join our job readiness, she was at a shelter at that time. And so she was assigned a mentor. She went through the program. Her mentor helped her so much doing that, because it's a 6-week program, but your mentor stay with you for a year. So after going through the program, she decided that she wanted to come back to get empowered. So we will allow you to come back through the program if you feel like you were not able to find the job that you wanted or to get through. So she decided that she wanted to go to the military because she felt like she could have a career there. But it stemmed from she needed her high school diploma. So right when she was in high school, the pandemic hit, and so she was pulled out of school. She couldn't finish her high school diploma, but she was determined. So she went online and received her high school diploma and was able to enroll in the military. But in order to get certain jobs, you have to have a driver's license. So she didn't have that. Her mentors actually helped her. One of her mentors lived in a community where there's a golfing, so they allowed her to use a golf cart to learn how to drive. And so the homeless shelter where she lives helped to pay the Lord's Place, helped to pay for the driving class. So she went through a driving class and got her driver's license. And then she was able to take the test to get into the military. She scored a certain level, but she wanted to score higher. She had scored like in the 60s, but if you score 80 or higher, you can have an opportunity to get any job you want. So she wanted to score higher. So her mentor helped her to get this app that can help you to study for the exam. And they started studying with her. She started going to the library every day. Her mentor helped her to get a gym membership because she needed to build muscle and do different things in order to go. So she scored over 80% on the exam, which is a very high score. The Army accepted her. And the great news is that she left on yesterday to go to basic training. She got on a flight. She called us from the airport, so excited. And so she's now on her journey to changing her life. And she was able to get into the medical career. That's what she wanted to do. So she signed up in the Army, and she is going through the medical program. And she just left for basic training on yesterday. So she arrived last night.
I live for these stories. I'm telling you, when I was sitting in that room listening to the story of that year's impact story, that woman, I mean, I was in tears. I don't think anyone, there was a dry eye in the house. And I mean, my hair was standing on edge because you're sitting there and you're listening to something that you literally have to see it to believe it. It's almost, it's impossible journeys of overcoming, and you want them to win. You're so happy to hear how the story ended and to see them stand on that stage.
Well, what was so exciting about that, I don't mean to cut you, but I don't want to miss this point, is that she didn't get a chance to march with her class because she missed the graduation due to the pandemic. So we gave her diploma and robed her at the luncheon this year. Oh my God. And that was not a dry eye in the room, even myself, to think that she wanted it so bad that she went online to graduate and get her diploma, and then to have us, give her that, and not, she's not expecting it. And we she come in and we robe her, put the hat, the cap, and the gown on. Her 2 mentors are there with her. And we give her diploma. And
that is, I mean, I got goosebumps just listening to you tell me. If I was there, forget it.
I think what's really special about being involved with local nonprofit organizations is being able to really feel connected to the people you're actually impacting and serving. And I think that's the power of, the nonprofits that we tend to gravitate to and that we really want to get involved in are the ones like yours that are of a size and in a way that we can actually roll up our sleeves and be a part of it, meet the people that are being impacted, meet the other people that are part of the organization. And I think it's a lot, for me anyway, more gratifying to participate and volunteer in local nonprofits where you get to connect with the people that you're serving.
Yes.
And you get to see what all of the fundraisers and all of these things do. That's really great. But when you get to meet the people that have been impacted by all of that work, it's impossible to not be inspired and to not want to do more of it.
Right. Yes, it's very gratifying when you're able to see the results and to see And just a quick another story. One of our another client that we had who had 6 children had been sleeping in her car, started having car trouble with the van that she was using to get her kids back and forth to school, where she would, end up going to a hotel to shower, change, get her kids off to school. They live in the van. They go take stuff out of the storage for clothing, put stuff back in. So this is how they were living. But we were able to help her get housing, and then we wrote a grant to help her get a vehicle, because right after she got housing, then her vehicle broke down. So she was able to, and talk about tears to see her when they unveiled the vehicle and the big bow on the vehicle, and she got the vehicle. So it was very, again, to see the results of how you help a person go from being homeless to getting housing and getting a job and being successful. And that's what we're all about. We want to see the success of our clients.
I love that. And I'm curious, because I think for the purpose of this episode, I think there's an impact story I'd like to hear and highlight. And I'd like to know if you could share a little bit about who were the mentors that helped this woman make it off to base camp and get on that plane. Like, who were these women?
Great question. Well, it's ironic because she had 2 mentors. One, because I told you she went through the class twice, and they both happened to be attorneys. And it was not by design. It just happened that they were both attorneys. Both of them are retired attorneys. And so they were able to assist her. One was a civil rights attorney, and the other young lady was, just a regular attorney that went in and out of court. But they both have retired from the system, and they were able to help her. And from learning how to drive to taking the test to going to the gym, and they went with her and helped her everything. And the 2 of them took her to the bus station to get to the Bright Line to get on the train to go down to Miami, to get on a bus to go to the airport. And they kind of followed her via their phones the whole time. And yesterday they both were at the office because they're now mentoring some other clients. And so they both were there, and they're on their phones. When she called, she said, well, I made it to the airport, and we're all on the phone like, oh, how is it? And so, she was able to let us know that she was there, and she would arrive last night around 10 to the
I'm curious to know, how long have they been volunteering with you? Are they new, or have they been with you for some time?
Now on our board, she has been volunteering for probably about 5 years now. The other one about 3 years. One of them, and that's what I'm saying, they start out as a volunteer, and she's now on the board. So she is really helping to make a difference. The other one is the lead for our coaches and our mentors. She trained other coaches and mentors. So they're both very involved. They're there at least twice a week. They're at the boutique helping out in some way. If they're not there for our job readiness program, they're doing a mock interview with someone, or they're styling someone, or they're coaching someone. So the 2 of them are very involved.
I love that. And I wonder, it's interesting to see, one of the things that was the most surprising to me when I came to your event was seeing the age range of the people in the room, because there were some people that were retired, right? And then this was their way of giving back and making impactful use of their days and their times and all the wisdom that they've collected over the years and the experience. But then, I'm sitting at Nancy Rizzuto's table, who's very much, principal at Capstrat Investment Group, so very much in demand, limited bandwidth, but still carves the time to be very involved. And then she had invited me and Romi alongside a table of people kind of like us, starting out, or kind of like, starting out in our business, or kind of, at that very critical inflection point where your career is going to take a turn or yeah. Right? Like the table was so well curated. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, there's just such all the steps are here.
Right.
And there's something to learn from each of them.
Yes. And not all our volunteers are retired. So that is great what you're saying. We had someone yesterday who was there speaking to our job readiness program. And she's someone who has an artificial intelligence, cybersecurity company. And so she was there sharing with them how, AI is so involved now in cybersecurity, where there's so many jobs in that area. So she was just sharing her story, and she owns this company, and they're looking for, employees, and they're looking to expand because that is something that is really a new movement for people to be involved in artificial intelligence and cybersecurity.
Oh, I'm sure job readiness has gone through so many iterations at Dress for Success. Yes. And now as we enter the AI world, I'm sure job readiness has taken on a whole new meaning.
Yes, it has. And we have two experts who come in and talk to them about artificial intelligence because, during the pandemic, artificial intelligence kind of took over quite a few jobs, like the Target, where a lot of people could go and work there, Walmart. When you go in those stores now, even CVS, artificial intelligence is where you're scanning on your own and not really having anyone who can wait on you. So you're seeing that happening a lot. Even when you go into airports, everything, is moving towards the artificial intelligence versus that person who's helping you out. So we want people to come in and share that with our clients so they will know where the job market is going and how it is changing, how things have evolved and how things have changed. So we do welcome and have people come in and talk to them about that as well. So she's someone who has joined our team, a young executive owning her own company, and has come over to join and help our clients. And so we're very appreciative of that.
There's something so, personal development is powerful, right? Yes. Challenging yourself and pushing yourself, so powerful. But there's something, I think, more powerful when you're coaching and mentoring others and you're achieving results through other people's development. It's like, I can't explain it, but there's
there's like a magic in being a part of watching other people win and knowing that you, by just taking certain small acts and giving them the support and the resources for them to excel in their own right. Yes. It's not like, what I love about what your organization is doing is you're not just putting people in places or giving them clothes. Like, you're giving them the power to own their future through the skills they're developing. You're giving them the opportunity to see beyond what they believed was capable, and open that.
But for that mentor, that volunteer, yes, to be a part of that, mentorship is such a two-way exchange. And I don't think people realize that until they've actually gone through and experienced it. And even, with the Daily Drip, with our small but mighty team, the steps that I take or the time that Romi will invest with our team to try to help them advance or get a little bit better on their professional journey and leadership journey. So even if it's at your company or, within your business, or taking it to the next level and volunteering at an organization like Dress for Success, that two-way exchange of energy when you're helping to coach and mentor someone else and then they achieve is incredibly powerful.
And it's funny that you say that. We had someone who attended the luncheon this year, and she's a community leader and gave a very large donation, but she wanted to do more. So she came into our volunteer orientation. She became a mentor. So this is her first time mentoring. She just mentored. She's on her session 5 of mentoring. So she came in my office yesterday to let me know how it was going. And she said, this is so rewarding. And to be able to see where your dollars are going and to see how you're changing. And she was saying to see how the women came into class the first day all shy and lacking the confidence, and how now they're booming and talking and sharing, and how, a lot of them have found jobs and they've moved on. So she was just said that this is just something that everyone needs to know about, Dress for Success, and what you all are doing here. She says people need to know that you're really changing lives and you're helping to make a difference. So this is coming from someone who actually attended the luncheon, saw, heard, and donated to give back, and then wanted to come and not only give of her dollars, but she wanted to give of her time. And so now she's a mentor and loving it and just saying it's so rewarding. And it's like a two-way, is what she said. She's getting so much out of it, just as much out of it as the client who she is mentoring. Just getting that. It's not even more.
I built my entire network through the nonprofit space. When I started understanding that I had to get out and meet people, I was very intentional about attending nonprofit events Because for me, I wanted to be around other people that cared about more than just their business. They were interested in developing relationships with people that were actively giving back, not just cutting checks. Yes. And I think where a lot of people don't, where some people shy away from getting involved is they think if they don't have checks to write or they don't have a big bank account that they can't help. And I'm proof that that is entirely inaccurate, because the power that you can, what you're capable of doing for an organization through just your own advocacy, your passion. This woman, like, her dollars and cents, amazing. But her being able to share what her experience was, and now she wants to share it with everyone, is even more powerful than the dollars and cents, because you're bringing in more eyeballs, more people, more attention, more mentors. Exactly. And so for people listening, don't hesitate because you think that I don't have a check to write. Like, the power of giving your time and of your heart is like exponentially more gratifying.
And you're absolutely right. And the time is worth more than the dollar, because you're spending that time. Like I said, these two attorneys who's mentoring her, look at all the time that they've poured into this young lady to get her to pass the test at a high score, to get her and to be able to give her where she won't have to go back to what she grew up in. And to hear her, saying that she's 22 years old now and have never experienced Christmas. And what child has not experienced that? And so to have lived your life moving from shelter to shelter and now wanting to change that and being, so grateful. And she came and shared with the class how she was getting ready to leave. And she's just so grateful for all the help. And don't take it for granted. It's what she left to get all that you can out of this class, because it can change your life. It has changed mine. And to hear this young lady saying that was also gratifying. So to hear from the mentors saying how it is changing their life, and then to hear from the client themselves saying that this has really helped me, it makes us feel really great as employees as well as volunteers to know that we're actually making a difference with others' lives.
And we'll see you back here for another episode of Her Pursuit. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Her Pursuit.
You can listen to new episodes every other Wednesday on Spotify or watch us on YouTube. Stay in the loop on all our virtual and in-person events, read our latest articles, and catch new episodes by subscribing to our free weekly newsletter.
Check out the episode notes for more details, and we'll see you here on our next episode of Her Pursuit.